when we booked this show that it was Good Friday and the full moon. I didn't know that. So my sermon has nothing to do with that. I may have considered it if I had thought about it. So before I get into my sermon, and seeing as it is Good Friday, ask yourself, what's crucifying you today? What are you being crucified by? Who are you being crucified by? Okay, nope, that has nothing to do with anything. I'm just planting that seed because it's Good Friday. Okay, so did you know that there's a specific type of depression that some people who have near-death experiences get? Now, some people who have NDEs, as they're called, end up like with this new lease on life. They come out of it inspired and newly positive and with this new sense of faith and purpose. But some people who experience near-death experiences come back with this depression categorized by the fact that what they saw on the other side was so beautiful and so peaceful that when they came back, it was absolutely devastating to them. And they became resentful that they are still alive and that they survived. So it's like waking up from a dream, and the best case scenario is that you wake up into a slightly worse one. Worst case scenario is you wake up in a total nightmare, and you just want to go back. Now, completely separately, there's another psychological event experienced by astronauts the first time they see the Earth from space. They all have this collective experience the first time they look down on Earth and they see it as one being, and all of the arbitrary borders are washed away, and all of the astronauts go through this personal transformation where they see us all as one humanity with one purpose. And I'm obsessed with this new documentary on Netflix called One Strange Rock, and it's kind of like Nat Geo, but narrated by astronauts. And this one astronaut, Mike Massimino, he was talking about the first time that he saw heaven, or he saw Earth from space, and he was looking down, and he thought, this must be the view from heaven. And then he thought to himself, no, that's not right. It's more beautiful than that. This is what heaven must look like. And I felt like I was looking into a paradise. Then the narrator after that says, it is like Earth is the Garden of Eden. So, have we fallen from the garden, or are we still here? And this is something that New Age people especially, this isn't a new thought for us, right? That's something that we're like, Earth is already here, you guys. We just need to learn to play nicely. The weird thing is, though, that despite all of our personal faith and beliefs and metaphysics and affirmational prayers, most of us don't experience the Earth currently as the Garden of Eden, because we don't experience the bliss, the trust, the absolute communion that marks the nature of the garden, where there's no striving, there's no fear that exactly what you need is going to be provided for you. In the garden, we rest in tranquility. In the garden, we are comfortable. But most of us on Earth are not comfortable. And this is why I think people who have near-death experiences, some of them end up with depression, because for the first time in many of their lives, they finally felt comfort. And that comfort is so transformative that it's enough to cause them absolute faith or absolute depression when they come back. So I recently traveled south to work with a medicine man, the kind that gives you a special tea to drink. You know. And if you heard my talk in Carson a couple weeks ago called I Want to Be Light, I gave a sermon about one particular lesson that I learned from drinking this tea with this medicine man down south. This is another one of the most important lessons I've taken away from that. And as this tea works its way through your body, the spirit of the earth, the madre, or the grandmother as we call her, she comes in and she brings you healing and comfort and peace, and she offers you clarity sometimes. So I traveled south because I wanted to heal. And I had expectations with a capital E. And we all know what happens when you've got expectations. And so, drank the tea, and I'm waiting for the medicine to kick in, and nothing's happening, and now I'm berating myself because I didn't do it right, it's not working, blah, blah, blah. And I couldn't let the madre in because I was being entirely too controlling. Shocking. And I was trying to control my ability to let go of control, and nothing was working. And so then finally I gave up. And I laid down, and I was like, you know what, forget it. I'm just gonna lay down and let everyone else in the room have their journey. And that's when grandmother, because I wouldn't let her in, instead she just decided to hold me. And in that holding, she seeped in through the cracks. Because even us rigid ones, especially us rigid ones, we've still got cracks. And so grandmother, she came seeping in through the cracks. And I felt like I was in her womb. I was in her garden for, even though I didn't think grandmother was there for me in that moment, that I didn't do it right. Of course she was there. She's never not there. This is her garden, and we are never outside of it. So she seeps in, and dawns on me, I am really comfortable right now. I am so comfortable. And if you've been a fan of Alchemist Theatre, you've heard me give lots of sermons about being in physical pain. Even as a 30-something, I have endured physical pain for about a decade. And so for in that moment, I felt comfortable in my body. And even before I had physical pain in my early 20s, I've always hated my body. I've always been uncomfortable in my body because even when it didn't hurt, I didn't like the way that it looked. Our kindergarten is one of my first memories. And so I've never been comfortable in my body, and so for the first time in my life, at 33 years old, I felt comfortable. And I began to breathe really deep, and I thought, you know what? If I came all this way to drink this tea, to feel comfortable for 4 hours, I'll take it. Right, yeah, it was worth it. And I was like, you know what? Maybe that's what I needed. And then it dawned on me, oh my God, that's what she's doing to me. She can't do any of her other work until I get comfortable. We can't do anything until we get comfortable. And so I sat there in this comfort, thinking, okay, this is all I'm gonna get tonight. And then I started thinking about all of the wounds and fears that plague me. All of the things that I traveled all the way south for, to heal, have someone else do it, let the madre do it. And so I started thinking about those things, and I realized I didn't care about any of them. My comfort was bigger than all of them. And then it occurred to me, when you feel comfortable, nothing else matters. And then I started thinking about, okay, what are all my worst fears in life? And I thought about them all, like, what if my dreams never come true? Man, if I'm comfortable, screw them. Sorry, guys. And then I thought, okay, what's my other biggest fear? Everyone in the world hates me, and they meet every week in a room to talk about how much they hate Jess and how horrible she is and all of the weird things she does. And then I was like, you know what? I don't care, that feels so good right now. And I realized, again, my comfort was bigger than my fears. And so I asked the spirit, the madre, because you can have a conversation with her when she's in your space. I said, what am I to do? And she said, get comfortable, girl. And I was like, okay, how do I do that? She was like, open your hips. I came all this way to have the spirit tell me I need to open my hips. And that is what I believe I am here to tell you all tonight. She brought me here to beg that question of you. So here's my question for you. How comfortable are you? general, how comfortable are you? For me, the Madre has me journeying into my body because that's where I need work. That's where I am the least comfortable. My joints are painful and achy and my muscles are rigid. Where are you achy and rigid? For me, it's my body. For you, it might be your professional life, your creative life, your romantic life, your social life. Where are you stiff and uncomfortable? That is where your compass needs to turn to. And then you need to open your hips. I want you to figure out what your opening of the hips is. So, you guys ready for the alchemy?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so 20 of you, we're gonna do it. The rest of you, just get out. Okay. So the alchemy is the part of the show where I guide you through a meditation, and I channel it live. I have seen nothing for this one. Usually I get some guidance ahead of time. And you're gonna close your eyes, you're gonna uncross your body, you're gonna start to really get comfortable. Duh, it just occurred to me why I always have you uncross your bodies. You're gonna breathe deep and Professor Dela, play me something, I don't know, swelly. Perfect, close your eyes. Ooh, I just saw where we're going. First, I want you to become outrageously present. Be in this room. Use all your 6 senses. What do you hear, smell, taste, feel? See. You should see blackness because your eyes are closed. And after you've totally become present in this room, I want you to allow yourself to fall into the earth, deep into the soil, and I want you to feel that soil surrounding you. If you can still see the light, then my friend, you are not deep enough. And once you are in the blackness of this dirty womb, where seeds are broken apart, where seeds are crucified, if you will, I want you to watch the shell of your seed break open like an exoskeleton. And inside is this new holy vine. And I want you to take on the awareness of the shell that just broke off of you. It might have a word written on it. You might already know what it is. It is a piece of your exoskeleton where you have previously been rigid and hard and uncomfortable. And I want you to talk to your shell. Ask it what it is and what it needs to open its hips. Maybe you're being called to get comfortable in a space that has always plagued you. And after you get your answer from your shell, take the knowledge of the direction that you're heading in and imagine yourself putting it into place. Imagine whatever instructions you were given to open your hips, whatever that was, imagine yourself doing it. And as you imagine it, watch that vine grow out of the soil and into the light. And it travels up and it grows. Continue the visualization to open your hips. And it travels all the way to the top of the sky, where it is swallowed by the sun, yet still connected into the roots of the mother. You are the vine. Your shell is behind you now. And so it is. Amen.